What if the more I learn about the Bible, the less I feel like I actually know what the complete truth is? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's Daily Truth. Like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. Today's going to be a unique one because there is no truth to this. This is literally just the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of learning, the pursuit of closeness. I'm going to talk about some of the things, and trust me, I think as I get further into this, I'll probably read more books on some of the other missing parts of the Bible, which is a confusion I've had since day one about the fact that these are texts from 2,000 years ago, especially in the New Testament, that people have talked about books that are missing, chapters that are missing, and writings completely null and void. And the thing that's causing me to talk more about this is learning the scriptures of Mary. And I have a feeling that I will do another one of these as I finish the book that I'm currently reading. What is it called? The Gospel of Mary Magdalene. When I finish that, I'm sure I'll have more to say, but I'm about a quarter of the way through. I have to keep re-listening. Anyways, let's get it started. Like this video, share this video, do all things with this video. I'm Anthony Michael Russo. It's time for the Daily Truth. Last night I didn't take a picture. I always forget to take a picture. This is the Double Down Speaking workshop was great last night. We had 10 people. Would love to have another great group next week. If you want to register, now's the time to do it. I will cut it off at about 12 or 13 people. I think that's the max for the class. I'm going to get a little bit of my Make Wellness Bio Precision Peptides. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in a row of being a premier affiliate. So I made a little over $500 this month from them, and feeling great, taking my Focus and my Lean. Boom. If you want to learn more, go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. I take these pretty religiously. Get it religiously because today's, yeah. And that's why I look like this. Absolute hammers. What else do I got for you guys? Go to my Instagram for all the other stuff that I do. Soon to be adding a beef tallow balm as well. My friend's company that I'll be adding as well. So that's it. That's what we got. So go ahead, do me a favor, share it. Let's get this out there. Let me go to the comments. Let's see. People are starting to share it. We got some people on YouTube. We got some people on X. That means Casey sees it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it today. Today, right meow. So for a long time, when I have conversations where the Bible is involved and religion is involved, the one thing that I always take away, and I actually feel closer to that than ever. Oh, yeah, since I'm doing the God's Got You shirt, go ahead and check that out on Instagram as well. We go to @Anthony Michael Russo. You'll see the link. Use truth for 20% off. All right, let's get right into it. Since I talk pretty heavily about the overriding theme for the Bible and for Christianity to me is kindness and treating others, and kind of the golden rule, treating others the way you want to be treated. And ultimately, meeting people where they are. I don't believe in the fire and brimstone Christianity. I think the scriptures around lukewarm Christianity are kind of confusing. And I truly think that the concept of lukewarm Christianity has been bastardized for a long time. I think that there's a negative to that. That is not the way that I look at Christianity. Although the fire and brimstone crowd that essentially will say you're not making your threats heard enough, and telling people that if you don't believe in Jesus, you go to hell. Although that might be true, there is a certain kindness and different energy that I think is very necessary when you start to look at the totality of scriptures. So, for example, when you're looking at the book of Mary and her writings, which were completely suppressed, and you have to also consider the time. Then women were not regarded in any way, shape, or form as somebody worthy of writings or something that they would learn on. And the scripture of Mary Magdalene actually was not found, or not the scripture, the writings were not found until Cairo, I believe, in 1895. So a lot was missing, a lot was gone. And just like anything else that we see in today's mainstream media, politics and who's in charge will play a role in the way that history depicts things and what books are not included. There's many missing books from the Bible. So what do those books talk about? I don't know yet. I'm going to probably try to read some of those. But with that said, why were they missing? So I think there's something very interesting as I've listened on Audible to the writings of Mary Magdalene. There was a lot of conflict with what was being told to her from Jesus in comparison to the with some of the male disciples, some of the teachings that we're used to hearing, which is interesting because it almost, if you parallel the two scriptures in many places, you'll see that what she is actually saying in her portions are very accurate. The experience she's having, and it turns out she was very likely the closest apostle uh, uh, to to Jesus. And in some ways, there's even some rumors. Let's see. These are non fraudulent books. I there how so I would like to know why you say that, Cash, because everything I'm doing research on in terms of the writings of Mary Magdalene are very clearly found. Again, and as I said, when they're found, it's completely random. You're talking about 6 pages missing, 10 pages missing. So the thing that I'm learning, and I'll talk to you later about this, Cash, but a lot of it is about an inner strength and spirituality, the idea of Christ being within you, and also the idea of imagination, speaking with him, and a more open-minded look at Christianity. And the relationship can be paralleled in the different books of the Bible. I believe Mark is some of them. Matthew talks about some of the relationships and the fact that Mary was the closest person to Jesus all the way to his crucifixion and all the way to his rising. So I think that there is some interest in just thinking about, and also when you're talking about fraudulent books, are you talking about all the missing books of the Bible? Because I don't think that all of them are fraudulent. I think that a lot, I just, we're somehow believing that whoever was in charge, and you look at Constantine was one of the Roman, when he made Christianity the head of the Catholic Church and Roman Catholicism. He was very clear that he wanted nothing to do with any kind of teaching of women in many cases. So they written lack of knowledge of things are the time scholars. So what's interesting, so I'm like, these dates don't match up. So we're actually getting the one that was found in 1895 was a translation that was most likely written in 200 CE, which was a translation from Greek to something else. So again, the timing doesn't match. Which is interesting is a bunch of the core books of the New Testament. Catholic Bible has the ones that are accepted, right? And we're believing the Catholic Bible is completely on the up and up based on the fact that all of the books that they said were accepted were done at a time and done by leaders that didn't want people to truly have free will, which the writings of Mother Mary, I'm not Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the writings of Mary Magdalene were very specifically taught to have less laws on people, create the ability for people to actually have less sin and make better decisions on their own. Again, this is not my area of expertise. This is what I'm reading right now. And the Catholic Bibles has the books that are accepted are kind of the exact reason why I don't buy into the Bible being perfect. The words that are in the Bible are perfect, but the transcript we have doesn't seem to be fully perfect. So some of the things, and I actually brought some notes. There was some thoughts about inner spiritual authority that Jesus talked about in his gospel, encouraging followers to seek the truth within themselves, that the kingdom is inside of you, not external rules and rituals, is mentioned lightly in the Bible, but actually a lot in talks about from Mary. And there's also confusion, which there was actually a retraction about Mary Magdalene, sorry, I keep saying Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene being a former prostitute, which again, you can look at, and that's how they portray her in The Chosen. That's how she's portrayed in a lot of different books. There's been a lot of retractions. There's been a lot of discussions on this, whether she's supposed to be referred to as that or not, or whether she was just conflicted with 7 demons and Christ got them out of her. So there's a lot of different questions surrounding all of that based on the fact that there was one ruler, I don't know if it was Constantine or somebody in the Roman Catholic Church, that just deemed her an unclean whore. A lot of questions when it seems like there's some conflicting evidence. So Now, am I saying that I'm right? And now I'm going to go back to Cash, some of the actual conversation you're having. Am I saying I'm right? No, it's a pursuit of truth, pursuit of questioning the norm, and to me, a game of telephone. All and this does not. This actually strengthens my relationship, I believe, with God and Christ. But going back all that time and playing a game of telephone where the people that chose which books were going to be at the forefront of the Bible and which slight areas were left off, especially in the New Testament, raises me to have questions. The same way that I had, on some of the shows that I've done where I disagree with some people's viewpoint of Christianity. And that doesn't mean that I disagree. Like, I actually firmly believe there's a place where Christians have to get upset. They have to flip tables. They have to be bold in their beliefs. They have to be trailblazers in their Christian faith. I 100% believe that. But when it comes to kindness to neighbors and some of the different concepts, I think that there is a missing feminine energy from the Bible that I think that some of these books would have included, like some of the ideas that even on shows I've disagreed with when I had my podcast and the political shows, there were certain elements that I felt as though were missing from on the empathy side from some of the Bible thumping Christians that were big in terms of having what is it? You remove the speck from my eye and yet having this massive log in theirs. That's kind of the conversations that I felt like I was having a lot, and having that kind of relationship with God when you are thinking that you are righteous. So last thing I'll say, because again, I think I'm spinning a little bit, but not spinning. I think I'm reeling because there's a lot of different thoughts going through my head. So a lot of the concept of being overly righteous when it comes to some of the other writings, specifically that of Mary, the biggest sin is not some of the earthly sins and worldly sins, because those can be forgiven, but thinking that your relationship with God or your belief in God is stronger than others, and you are right, 100% right. I think God even understands, and Jesus understood that it's going to be hard to make the scriptures perfect for decades and centuries and millennia for it to be perfect. So ultimately, just do as I did, which was a peaceful, welcoming, not peaceful, a welcoming, loving side of Christ, and knowing that if it almost made me feel my statement where I say the only person 100% wrong in an argument is the person that thinks they're 100% right. That to me encompasses some of the writings of the supposed writings of Mary Magdalene. And just that concept that we are the biggest sin is when you think that you are without sin. The biggest sin is when you think that you are above others that are human just like you. That was my big takeaway. No one on earth is righteous, and 100%. There's always wisdom in the books, but the devil always makes truth of false. The books are fabrications, though, brother. You'll spot it as you study more. I'm interested. We'll talk maybe more about it later today. Let's see. So last question for Cash, if you're still in the comments, which I think you are. You last posted at 9:12. So do you believe that the Bible as it is right now is a complete 100% complete copy of what God and Jesus wanted us to have? Remember, the Bible is still written by men. It's translated from Christ, but it's still written by men and then put in order and put as a main book, major book, by men. So you think it is 100%. So Cash, you think it's 100% the way the book was meant to be written right now in the eyes of God? I think that's interesting. I think that would be difficult for me to say and believe at this point. I don't. And you could be right that some of these are fraudulent writings. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. But to think that the rulers in a time that was very different. I'll just call you, Cash. All right. I'll call you right after this. Maybe it'll be a follow-up tomorrow. I don't know. And follow up next week when I finish this book. All right. I'll call you in a sec. God bless, guys. Remember, go to doubledownspeaking.com. Today was a different one. I just wanted to, the more I learn, the more I have questions. And these are the same questions I've had for a very long time. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. And remember what? doubledownspeaking.com, and go ahead and check out my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. All the different things are on there. If you like the gear, like God's Got You and all the other fun stuff that we have, you can click the link there. Use Truth for 20% off. God bless. Take it easy. Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. Deuces.